What's up, guys? Uncle John here. Shop's a mess. It's going to be like 97 degrees out today. We probably won't get much foot traffic. We do have a couple orders to go out, so that's cool. But we do have soap to make today, so I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Everybody's been asking for it. I'm still not giving you my recipe, but that's okay. I'm going to give you a recipe that's other than just a single oil soap, like the Castile, like the Castile that I showed you, which is still a recipe. So technically, I didn't hold out completely. But this one's going to be a little more complex. Not super hard, but a different recipe for you guys to try. And hope you enjoy it. Okay, guys, here we go. All right, lye water's already done. I was supposed to do this recipe yesterday and I goofed, so it's all good. All right, yes, it's plastic. It's a Mainstays brand pitcher, big box pitcher. No biggie. Don't freak out, guys. Not everything that's plastic is gonna hurt you. Mixing lye in this one, I've been mixing lye in this one for like 6 years. No signs of warping, erosion, cracking, brittleness, none of the above. Relax. Woosah. All right, in this pitcher, 18 ounces of water by weight on the scale. 18 ounces of water, 8.5 ounces of lye. Got that? And all this is going to be in the description. I'm going to put the recipe, and I'll do a screen on here, either probably early on in the video or at the end somewhere, maybe here in the middle. All right, so you got your water and lye. This is already cold. It'll be fine. It's still active. It's just not hot. I like to have the lye actually hot, so I usually use it right after it goes clear, but no biggie. Part of soap making and any other craft, you got to be flexible. All right, again, Sterlite bowl. No biggie. It's plastic. Yes, it's thin plastic. Not a big deal. You see these in the big box store. They come with the red see-through lids in like a 2 or 3 pack. It's perfectly fine for small batches. Solid oils. We got coconut oil, 9.3 ounces. Palm oil, 6.2 ounces. And soy wax, you know, the flakes you use for making candles, 6.2 ounces. When you look for that wax, candle making wax, the soy wax, look for something with no additives in it. You don't want all the additives that make it for, make the wax harder for like pillars and stuff like that when you're pouring candles. You want one with the least amount of additives possible, and read what those additives are so that you know what's going into your soap. I'm not going to get into a whole long thing about that. As for the palm oil, I know there's controversy even over sustainable palm oil. That's not what this video is about. You don't want to use palm oil? Don't use palm oil. You want to use it? Use it. We're going to warm these oils, get them liquid. I already started, but I didn't have the camera running because I'm a moron. So, yes, it's a microwave. We're going to go for about 2 minutes. It's not going to irradiate your soap, so stop that. You don't want to overdo it. A, because it is a plastic bowl. B, you don't want to overdo it because you don't want to scorch your oils. You're not trying to deep fry your favorite shrimp recipe or something, you just want them to be liquid. So I start at 2 minutes. That one was already started, so it's got like a minute and a half left. And then I'll probably end up being 3 total just to make sure everything's melted. It's nowhere near boiling. It's not that hot. I can probably stick my finger right in it when I'm done. And then once that comes out, we'll continue our recipe. While we're waiting for that to melt, a little bit on safety here. You can see I don't use eye protection. Again, don't follow my example. I've been doing construction for years with no eye protection, and that doesn't mean that something can't happen. It's just something I don't normally think about. So don't follow that example. You can follow my product making examples because I do try my best with those. As far as personal safety, it comes and goes. No gloves. I never wear gloves. In fact, I may even take this watch off, and here's why. And I learned this lesson from a guy that welds. If you're doing something like welding, let's just take welding for example, and you wear like a pair of gloves for working, and that glove stops here or whatever, and a hot piece of metal goes down inside that glove, that burn is going to be 10 times worse than if you had just been able to brush it off. There are appropriate times for gloves. This isn't one of them, because that soap batter will do the same thing. It'll get down inside that glove, and by the time you get everything off and rinsed and everything else, you stand a higher chance of getting a chemical burn. So it's just the safety glasses. The gloves, screw those. Anyway, you don't need to set up in a hazmat suit to make soap. Don't be paranoid. It's not that bad, not that serious. There's probably harsher chemicals you're using for cleaning your house than for making soap. Trust me. Let's look at our oils. All right, so that was 3 minutes, and it's hot enough that the last couple little bits of soy flake, yep, they're already melted. All right, I just make sure there's no solids up on the sides. Easy peasy, right? Okay, we're not doing a whole thing about tools either. Right? This recipe is assuming that you already have your tools gathered. You've already been to the store to buy bowls, pitchers, mixers, measuring implements, scales, things like that. That's another video, guys. Okay, next. Big box store canola oil. Trust me, this stuff works just as well as olive oil. So don't knock it till you try it. Oh yeah, make sure your scale's on before you start. All right, into this, we are going to go 62.2 ounces, which ends up being about 2 pounds, 8.5 ounces, give or take. Sorry, my scale's set for pounds right this second. And pouring this right after you melt your solid oils helps cool them back down some to the temperature that you, well, the temperature that I want. I don't soap super hot, but I don't soap super cool either. Yeah. All right. Easy so far, right? Trust me, if this dumb old carpenter can do it, you guys can do it too. Next in the bowl, let me grab it. Sodium lactate. While you don't need this stuff, and I didn't use it forever. In fact, we just started using sodium lactate, I don't know, about 8 months ago, give or take. It does help with it helps harden the bar better. Overall, it does add something to the recipe. I like it, so I'm going to use it. You don't want to use it, no problem. It doesn't hurt either way. So it's not a necessary thing, but I put an ounce in. Try not to be long-winded. I know I'm failing miserably, but stay with me. This recipe does not get color, but it does get fragrance. This is a proprietary blend that I made out of something else. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Suffice to say, it's our pipe smoke recipe. And I also don't get into too many fragrances and the volumes you put in, because it's going to change drastically from one supplier to the next. Even essential oils. Conceivably, the lemongrass oil that you get from one should be pretty close to the lemongrass oil you get from the other manufacturer or supplier, but their recommended usage rate for bath soaps can vary wildly. So, yeah, I'm not going to get into that. For my recipe here, this takes 4 ounces of fragrance. And it is a good, strong fragrance, the way I like it, but well within the safety standards that we all should be following in our products. All right. And that is it, folks. We are ready to roll. I don't do this. I don't care what the temperatures are, but I'm going to take them just so you guys know, because I know people freak out over temperature variations and things like that. This is 123 degrees. The lye water that I mixed yesterday, 78 degrees. Everybody says, oh, you got to be within 10 degrees of each other. You know what? Again, relax. It's not that serious. All right, I stick my immersion blender in, and the first thing I do is burp it. You see these little slots in the side? Stick it in your bowl, tip it, and try to get any air bubbles out that you can. It'll help you when you first start the motor up. Now, I like to run this for a minute first because the sodium lactate doesn't always incorporate the way you want it to. In fact, some people recommend putting it in your lye water and letting it work with the lye water, then adding that to your soap. I put it right in with the oils and it works fine. It's been no problem at all. Get all the fragrance and everything worked through. And this isn't like hot process where you wait to the end to put your special super fat recipe ingredient in and your fragrance and all that. That doesn't work with cold process, so don't even try it. You're just gonna end up beating yourself up, and you know, you might as well just go hit your head against that brick wall outside. All right. Here's something else. I see people doing this little trickle, like they're tempering eggs, making a custard. You know what? Pour it in. So as you can see, that was an oops moment. And it only took me a minute and a half to fix it, but I wasn't ready. I didn't make sure my mold was lined. So I had to stop mixing real quick when I realized and come back. And the good news is, with the lye water not being hot, I did have more working time. You can see this is quick. I mean, I only mixed for a little bit before I had to jump over and do that mold. And then here another minute or two. I don't go to a heavy trace and all that. There's no need. I keep a little bit of water set aside here to put my mixer head in. That helps me clean the blades off, so when I wash it, it comes out easier. Cleans up better. And we pour. And we just use our old Betty Crocker spatula here, or whatever brand you can find. Actually, the dollar store has some really good stuff. Nothing wrong with being thrifty or cheap or whatever, as long as you're cheap in the right areas. Don't cheap out on everything. That's it, guys. That was loose enough. I don't really have any air bubbles to worry about, but I do shift it to make sure everything's pretty evenly spread in the mold. Done. Okay, guys. So within 24 hours, I will be able to cut that soap, no problem. I'll be able to use it right away too if I want. So don't get all worked up about, you know, your measurements. They're very flexible, but you do want to weigh everything and pay attention. Even if you don't hit your 5% super fat mark, you want to make sure you're at least a couple percentage points above so that you're not, you know, lye heavy in your soap and things like that. All right, guys, enjoy. Make sure you comment, subscribe, click the bell icon so you don't miss anything. And let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, comment down below. Shoot me an email at unclejonssoap@gmail.com. And we'll see you on the next one. Have fun with this recipe. Give it a shot. All right, guys. See you.